learning more about a police chase that left one man dead yesterday afternoon. News 2's Ceddy Easter reports on why police say they had to follow that car.
Officials tell me the pursuit began after they saw the three people run to the car at an apartment complex with the driver wearing a ski mask and gloves, raising concerns about what they had just saw. This is what North Acadian Thruway and Winbourne Avenue looked like Monday afternoon after a quick high-speed chase. Multiple cars were smashed and debris scattered all over. 25-year-old Larry Harris died after the driver of the car he was in did not stop for police.
You end up getting killed in the process trying to get away. And it's senseless.
Police say the chase started when officers saw the driver of the car, who wore gloves and a ski mask, run to the car at an apartment complex on Ardenwood Drive. Harrison and a teenager hopped in with the driver. An officer followed the car to see where it may be headed.
Kind of followed them and observed several traffic violations. And upon trying to stop them, this suspect vehicle fled from police.
The driver then sped up, leaving officers trailing close behind. When the chase ended with this wreck, the driver of the car took off running. He'll face several charges when he's released from the hospital. Those charges will include Harris's death. He will also be charged with being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. The third passenger, a teenager, was released to his family. Those in the area say they are glad nobody was seriously injured, as police and the car played a dangerous game of cat and mouse.
A lot of people walk down the sidewalks all time of the day. So that's crazy. It was a blessing that nobody was on the sidewalk.
Police do not yet know where the car was headed or why, but they told WBRZ the driver has a violent criminal history and there were 2 guns found in the car. His name isn't being released until he's out of the hospital.
You know, this could have been something that they prevented.
Police say the next step is for internal affairs to investigate the chase. If pursuit policies were violated, those involved will face the consequences. Ceddy Easter, WBRZ News 2.
Back on that mountain, it was Ddawg and
Uber, get a ride for a meal. Another one got killed.
DJ UTV, let them know who we got in the building.
Man, watch Ddawg, man. Fuck around the chop and Ddawg like in the
NBA Ddawg, what you want, gang?
well, I'm big bullying in the you know. What's on you?
Well, welcome to DJ UTV. It's definitely a blessing to have you. They didn't see this one coming.
Well, apparently the Phoenix PD did, because they was in conjunction with BRPD and they captured that boy. Check it out. In 2022, I was charged for the death of the passenger in my vehicle after an alleged high-speed chase with an officer in an unmarked car. The group of officers who stalked me are known as the Brave Team. Google them, and you know we will. They're either fired under a federal investigation or have been arrested for breaking the law, violated civil rights, and etc. They lied on me, hid evidence, had the car destroyed, and more. They knew the passenger opened his door seconds before a car hit the side he was on. They lied and said he was ejected after striking the windshield. They rigged the entire report to frame me for his death and destroyed the car so I wouldn't have proof. Believe none of what you see in media. They say, for the ones who believe in me, thank you. I'm going to post my story. Go follow my TikTok. We'll visit that in just a moment. And I guess this is him with his son. And it says, I'm definitely not trying to do none of that. I'm not trying to do none of that. It's blurred out. I wonder why. But it says, front passenger, Larry Harris, ejected from vehicle after striking the front windshield of the vehicle due to the impact of striking other vehicle at the high rate of speed Darian was traveling prior to wreck, causing the fatality of Harris. Then it says right here, observations and conclusions. At the time of the collision, the front passenger door was unlatched. Basis. From the on-scene photographs of the Nissan at rest and the walk-around photographs and video, a number of relevant observations can be made toward addressing the questions of whether the door was latched or not at the time of the collision. The first observation is that the principal direction of force coming into the Nissan is front to rear in order for the front passenger door latch to fail during the collision. A force would have had to be applied laterally, inside to outside, with sufficient magnitude to cause either the latch or the D-ring to fail. The collision forces from the collision, which are apparent from the on-scene photographs, do not include a meaningful lateral component or other damage to compromise the latching system. In other words, there is no mechanism from the collision for a force to be generated from inside the vehicle toward the interior of the front passenger door to cause the door to fail. Second, neither the latch housing or the D-ring itself appeared to be damaged, compromised, or even involved in the collision. Though the front passenger door is damaged, the nature of its damage makes up the third observation, which is the door being unlatched at the time of the collision proceeded forward, folding completely, open to slap the front right quarter panel of the Nissan. Lastly, the decedent does not appear to have been thrown from the vehicle based on his position immediately outside the passenger door, recalling the principal direction of force. Whoa. Wait, what? The decedent would have had experienced a significant blunt force from the passenger side of the Nissan being forced back and collapsing into his seating position. At the conclusion of the collision, the unlatched front passenger door allowed the decedent to fall out rather than being ejected from the vehicle onto the ground immediately beside the open door. The preceding observations and conclusions are based on the information evaluated to date. Should additional information or new questions arise at some future time through disclosures, testimony, deposition, or otherwise, these opinions may be supplemented in consideration of such respectfully. So basically what it's saying is the front passenger door wasn't latched shut when the crash happened. The crash hit the car from the front and then damaged the latch in a way that would have made it pop open. So the door was already unlatched before the impact. Because the door was open during the crash, it swung forward and hit the front part of the car. The person who died wasn't thrown out of the car. Instead, when the crash happened, they were hit hard by the front part of the car and then fell out through the already open door onto the ground right beside it. Basically, the door wasn't closed properly. The crash made it swing open and the person fell out next to the car instead of being ejected through force. Damn.
Alright, front passenger's about to bail, doors open.
I went to court with a pay lawyer and gave him all the evidence he needed to get the case dismissed. I was threatened with a life sentence if I didn't take the time they offered. Everyone was scared to go up against the police. With me and my wife fighting them ourselves, it made the most sense to take the deal than risk life. If they could rig everything up to this point, I would have walked into a trial full of fake jurors. And it says right here, free Ddawg. One of the realest, genuine people I ever met, showed me none but love, was taking care of everybody and playing with his son at the shows half the time while thousands of people was trying to get his attention and shit. Do the real one for sure. I wish him none but peace and blessings in your family. Way, dog. Real recognize real. I've been effed up since you left. You the main one. Call me, check in on me. Check on me. Tell me, come on, everything. We gonna maul you. Make sure I'm fresh. Innate. You and your wife been so real to me. 5, I'm forever with you. 100 red, green heart emoji. I 3 you, Ddawg, 4KT, NBA. You've been motivating the F out of me. Thank you, 5, I'm with you. So basically, that's negligent homicide, RS 1432. Louisiana charges up to 5 years, illegal carrying of weapons. With CDS, RS 149E, Louisiana charges 5 to 10 years at hard labor, no parole. And since he's a convicted felon, that makes it even worse. The DA can tack on RS 149.1, possession of firearm by a convicted felon. That carries 5 to 20 years, hard labor, no parole or probation. And they can stack that up with a 14.9E charge. So, in Louisiana terms, he's basically looking at 10 to 25 years easy, depending on how the judge and the DA move with the enhancements and whether they want to run it concurrent or consecutive. So, that's what that is. Now, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. When I first took a deep dive into this crap, the thing that pointed out the most to me was how the media had already portrayed him. What I'm about to show you is gonna make him look very, very guilty, but stick around because check this out.
The system has failed. A man convicted in a murder from 2012 picked up on attempted murder charges out on bond Monday when he led police on a chase that left a passenger in his car dead. Chris Nakamoto with the troubling trend that has been exposed by the investigative unit now for years.
Michael, it has happened again. A suspected career criminal out on bond caught committing more crimes. Tonight, a passenger in his car is dead after the driver with an extensive criminal history fled from police. Mangled metal and car fragments are all that's left after Darian Bailey refused to stop for police and slammed into a car on Winborn Monday afternoon. A passenger inside the car Bailey was driving died. Years ago, Chief Murphy Paul talked about the problem his department was having with the revolving door with the justice system.
We dealt with him before. The same individuals. That is what I hear from my officers. We arrest them, and then we have to deal with them again. Shooting incidents, murders. What's right about that?
Tonight, the WBRZ investigative unit uncovered Bailey has a conviction tied to a 2012 murder. Derek Marino was killed. His wife and daughter ran out of the home, barely escaping the gunshots, after Bailey and two others showed up and killed Marino in what was described as a robbery. This was Marino's aunt at the time of his murder.
They're cowards, and all I got to tell them is they need to get up and get them a job, therefore they won't have to rob other people.
The WBRZ investigative unit uncovered a troubling history with Bailey, now tied to multiple crimes. Court records show Bailey was arrested at the age of 14 for a murder off Wyandotte in 2012. He pled guilty in 2019 to a manslaughter charge. Between his arrest for the murder in 2012 and now, he was also accused in an attempted murder from 2018. He was arrested for that shooting this month and was given a $300,000 bond by Judge Fred Crevassi. Days later, Bailey posted bond and was involved in a chase where he fled from police. It ended with the death of a passenger in his car. Questions are being raised about whether a judge even looked at the suspect's record. How did that suspect manage to get a bond with a conviction on his record tied to a 2012 murder case? Those are questions we reached out to the judge's office to explain. In an attempt to see how the system can stop repeat offenders from continuing to cause havoc on our streets, more than a year ago we showed you this trio of troublemakers, out free on not one, not two, but three different bonds. At the time, District Attorney Hiller Moore telling us this.
If someone is out on multiple bonds and given a chance and then given a second chance, and now he's again on third set of allegations.
Tonight, it appears second and third chances didn't work for Bailey, who was being chased by police. They found weapons and a ski mask in the car he crashed, raising concerns and questions about what he was going to do next. Sources provided us with Bailey's identity. He is still in the hospital tonight, but police have said he'll be booked with multiple crimes when he's released. Meanwhile, calls to the judge's office were not returned by News Time. For his role in the 2012 murder, Bailey was sentenced to 10 years at hard labor. He did about 7 before it was back out on the streets, allegedly committing more crimes. Michael?
All right. Y'all got that, right? The media is basically saying, yo, he's a bad person. He did this, he did that. He killed the man, he robbed the man, blah, blah, blah. You really did 8 years. You didn't do 7. He did 8. But then what ends up happening, bruh? They do this.
The police department in Baton Rouge, Louisiana is under scrutiny because of lawsuits that claim officers tortured detainees in an off-site warehouse.
Officers used it to beat people and conduct inappropriate strip searches during interrogation. This brave cave is now shut down, but some officers are now in custody. Now, Elgene McNeely with the Baton Rouge Police Department says 3 BRPD officers, Deputy Chief Troy Lawrence Sr., Corporal Todd Thomas, and Sergeant Jesse Barcelona were arrested earlier today and placed on administrative leave.
Matthew Wallace and Catherine Alvarado Cruz were part of the now disbanded street crime unit that operated out of the infamous Brave Cave. Bess Casserly in the newsroom with what this means for the officers and taxpayers.
Well, Sylvia, the suit alleges Wallace and Alvarado participated in the strip search of a woman at the Brave Cave who they were questioning for having prescription drugs.
Middle District Chief Judge Shelley Dick delivering another blow to former members of the now disbanded Baton Rouge Police Street Crimes Unit and their activities within a secret warehouse known as the Brave Cave.
As far as I know, there's upwards of 9 to 10 other lawsuits that are pending in the Middle District of Louisiana.
Attorney Ryan Thompson is behind 4 of those suits. This one involves allegations against BRPD officers Catherine Alvarado Cruz and Matthew Wallace, who participated in a body cavity search of his client, a grandmother who was not under arrest. Wednesday, both Wallace and Cruz were denied qualified immunity or for the suit to be totally dismissed.
14 police officers were terminated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 resigned under investigation.
Officers face multiple charges, including simple battery and malfeasance in the Brave Cave investigation.
We learned that a supervisor believed that the contents on that video were violations of our policy and excessive use of force.
Beating a man in a bathroom and then realizing that they perhaps took it too far. Now they're accused of covering it up, and the beating was caught on the body camera, we're told by the chief. Our leader.
Ddawg, let me tell you something that nobody want to tell you. It don't matter. None of that shit that you put up there matters. You want to know why? Because they were passengers. It does not matter. They would have never died had you not been the driver. Let's go forward to my home state. Let's go to the Bay Area, right? A couple of weeks ago, there were 5 young men who decided to go into a marijuana shop, right? Mota. They came for the mota, right? But they came con pistolas, meaning they had pistols. You hear me? So they had their pistols. They came in there, and boy, that dispensary must have lit up like the 4th of July with smiles and thoughts in the back of their head because they started shooting. 3 of them died, I believe, and 2 of them survived. Well, it just so happens that the 2 who survived were charged with murder. Yeah, because they would have never died. None of that stuff would have happened had they never been there. So everybody who's in there is now charged who lived with murder. Why is that important? Because damn near the same rules similarly applies. You should be actually glad. Talking about you would have stepped in there with a jury. Bruh, listen, man. Y'all damn rappers want to believe a whole bunch of shit that I just can't. Yeah, that force is definitely dirty as hell. For sure. But that does not stop anything that happened. You are a convicted felon. They had a hunch that you had guns because your ass came shiestied up, ski masked up. And you know what ended up happening? The damn cop was right. His hunch was right. Y'all got caught with firearms in there. And lo and behold, that's what ended up happening. You're trying to argue, oh, well, he didn't go through the damn windshield. Actually, this, and this happened. They're going to basically argue in front of the jury, that shit ain't going to matter. If I was the damn DA, I would have been like, yeah, all right, that's cool. But they still ran. You were a convicted felon with firearms. That's good enough. So unless they trying to say fruit of the poisonous tree, I should have never been freaking I should have never been basically, how do I say it? I should have never been followed? Nah, because if what the cop is saying is true and you start running lights and all of this shit, it doesn't matter. A cop can follow you as long as they want to. Does not matter. The moment that if what they say is true, you running through lights, you doing all of this shit, you ran away, that's on you. It doesn't matter after that. So respectfully, I'm going to disagree with your ass. So no, hell no. Hell no, we're not doing that. Hell no, I'm not finna sit up here and lie to the people about all of this shit. Nah. And I'm not making fun of little buddy. I really think that his ass really realistically didn't understand the magnitude of what he did. But more than likely, you came out on probation, youngin. You don't have any effing rights. You don't. Maybe your friends are lying to you. You get around your people and all that. They say, man, you wasn't the cause of that, man. This car hit that. No, dumbass. And not saying it to be negative, but no. Wisen up, youngin. The kid would not be dead had your ass not decided to start running lights and all that shit. So no, it's on you. Not sorry. Subscribe, turn on bells to notify, share to keep your people aware. I don't give a shit what y'all do. Y'all get mad at me if you want to for this. I don't give a damn. I'm the uncle that's going to tell you flat out, your ass was wrong. So you better take whatever deal they give you. Give a shit about all that other stuff. Subscribe, turn on bells to notify, share to keep your people aware. I'll catch y'all in the next one. And if y'all try to say, oh, Ceddy days, bro. No, you're saying this, you're saying that. Listen, I got a family going through the same shit. Hit somebody, killed them. This was this year? No, I think last year. I don't pick up his mother effing calls, bruh. Hell nah, you out of bounds. Nigga, this your fault. Somebody got hit due to my cousin driving. My cousin goddamn driving, trying to flee from the goddamn cops. It's on camera. He literally, boom, went through the light, smacked somebody. The damn car he was driving went up in the air, boom, smacked somebody walking on the goddamn driveway, killed his ass, and my cousin ran away. I'm never talking to my cousin again. I don't give a shit. That right there was unnecessary. And he was wrong for what he got pulled over for and what made him run in the first place. So it is what it is. I don't want to hear nobody, oh, Ceddy Nash, blah, 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 and all this shit. Nope. Don't give a damn. It is what it is. I'm like that with mine, so hell nah. Innocent people dying and shit because you older cats want to do stupid shit. Nah. But hey, subscribe, tap that notified, share to keep your people aware. I'm going to keep that same energy for everybody.